What is too expensive but shouldn't be? Bras who got away with making them so expensive. Funerals. Ticketmaster fees. All these ticketing site fees are out of control really. Those service fees. Lettuce is now way more expensive than avocados. What isn't expensive nowadays? Life in general is expensive. Dental work. What's a company secret you can share now that you don't work there? The secret ingredient of Jimmy John's tuna salad is soy sauce. Government-funded refugee advocacy agencies at a time were approving a disproportionate amount of young women, 18 to 25, from Syria and Iraq with sexual assault history for their services. Upon further investigation, I and my team discovered consultants from said agency were engaging in sexual relationships with these girls. They were denying them opportunities of employment to keep them in financial destitution purposely. When the girls became desperate, the offer of private prostitution was made by the consultants. I whistle blew to the organization heads. They thanked me and the consultants were gone the next day. Huge meeting with senior board. Apologies. This isn't the way we do things. Speeches blah blah blah. And within 3 months me and the other 6 other complainants and investigators had all resigned from the company for different reasons. On paper it looks coincidental. In reality we were all individually pushed out. 2 of the consultants that we uncovered were doing the worst were not fired. They were given the option to resign and are currently working at other agencies with vulnerable young women. If you don't hear music when you're supposedly on hold, the operator simply muted their mic and can still hear you. I've heard interesting and damning things while they thought I couldn't hear them. They are out of business now. But in the early 90s I worked at Radio Shack for a year and a half. When people would return an item because it didn't work, the manager of the store would just box it back up and sell it again as if it were new. When I asked him about it, he said, "Hopefully they will return it to a different store." I nearly got fired when I refused to sell a guy a walkie-talkie CB radio that I knew didn't work. The guy was on his way out for a hunting trip and was buying 3 of these for him and his friends. We had 2 and the third was the broken one. In front of the customer. I told the manager that one didn't work and I had tested it. The guy was happy, I told him. We arranged for him to get the last one he needed at a different store and off he went. The manager was livid with me and nearly fired me. I'm sorry. I'm not sending people out into the forest with gear I know doesn't work. Hilariously, a few months later the manager was caught stealing from the store and got fired. Edit. Well, I didn't expect this to blow up like this. It's pretty funny. My highest upvoted comment is about my shitty past job. In the United States, one company's bread and butter was simply reboxing and relabeling computer monitors from China to make it seem like they were from the company and made, assembled in some way by them. At a major insurance company I wrote software for was very big on security. If we needed to make an update, we weren't allowed to remote into the server. Even though you physically could. It was just against policy. To make an update, you had to put your changes onto portable storage. Show your ID to the security guy. Use your key to open the door. Get escorted to the server. Then they'd observe you via cameras. The login? Admin? The password? Blank. Literally no password. What's a trend among General Zs you find weird? Documenting themselves committing crimes then posting them to social media. They film everything. The way everything needs to be a micro-label or aesthetic. And the differences between some of them feel so minuscule that I'm not sure why they all need to exist in the first place. I've seen both clean girl and vanilla girl on TikTok, but those both just seem like minimalism. To me, filming everything and the need to add core at the end of every clothing aesthetic, style they Rediscover lol. Gen Z here. Romanticization of mental illness or crime. Broccoli haircut. Will definitely age like milk. Why would you not recommend your career? Pediatric cancer scientist. A lot of the kids that end up on our research protocol are going to die. Fewer of them are going to die than if they were not asterisk on our research protocol. But the prognosis for the "we've tried everything else" cases that get to us is not great. Book editor. Well, I used to love reading. I joined a book club while in college and even voted as one of the committee. Now I see books as work and never touch them outside my work hours. Sigh. If you want to live in Japan and don't care about not earning very much money, come teach English. Literally the only real requirements are 1. Be alive and 2. At least kind of speak English. If you can read this comment, you're probably overqualified. Reasons not to do it. Pay as shit. No benefits. You will either spend your days sitting around doing fuck all but waiting to or being worked to. Exhaustion. No advancement. This is it. Feels utterly pointless. The curriculum is garbage. Most students don't give a fuck and won't learn much of anything. The few who do give a fuck and have some degree of aptitude will be fucked over by a combination of the shit curriculum, their classmates weighing them down like an anchor, and the Japanese English teachers may not even actually speak English themselves and or teach weird and wrong shit as a result. You'll probably get shunted off to some random mountain town that's been hemorrhaging population steadily for decades with an average age of 48 and absolutely fuck all to do there unless you like hanging out in smoky old people, snack bars, or smoky pachinko parlors. Call center tech support. Need I really say anything? The whole job is trying to help people who treat me like I'm the person who broke their shit. Librarian. The pay is shit. Especially with the fact that you need a master's to have any meaningful advancement. Master's degree. To make $40.50K. Also, depending on where are, libraries are just where homeless people go during the day. And a lot of homeless people are perfectly nice and respectful. But enough of them are not. I normally work in a fairly nice suburban branch where the worst I get is old men coming on to me. I'm pretty lucky. Co-workers at the downtown branch have been grabbed, punched, screamed at, spit at. They find bodily fluids all over the place. They find people overdosed in the bathroom. I'm sure any customer service position is like this. People think librarians sit and read in a nice, quiet library all day. We do not. We are expected to act as untrained social workers as much as we're expected to recommend books. Machine operator. I've had 6 lung infections in the past year and a half from all the welding fumes. To all the geniuses who think I'm not wearing a respirator, I am. But it can only filter out so much. Especially if the shop looks like Willie Nelson and Snoop Dogg were hanging out. You now have the attention of the entire world for 2 minutes. What do you say? Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. I apologize to everyone. The simulation has been discontinued and our funding pulled. As of the 1st of January 2023, we will be eliminating the simulation to make space. Edit. The 1st of January 2023 for the Americans. They have taken the bridge and the second hall. We have barred the gates, but cannot hold them for long. Drums. Drums in the deep. We cannot get out. They are coming. Play Charlie Chaplin's speech from The Great Dictator. I would probably stammer. Forget what I was going to say. Then by the time I remembered the 2 minutes would be up, then I would have to leave. Siri. Order sex lube. Alexa. Order sex lube. Cortana. Order sex lube. Google Assistant. Buy sand. Quote. What's something that you've spent 10,000 hours on, but still suck at? Breathing. Choked really bad on my own spit yesterday, still mad about it. Building houses in Sims lol. Sleeping. Walking. I routinely trip over it. Subscribe, my brothers.